You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith. Hey there, Sprouts. Today is Friday, October 11th, 2019. This week on the Catholic Sprouts podcast, we have been talking about the Holy Trinity, and in particular, the Holy Spirit. We've talked about how God is a community, or rather a family of love. We talked about how understanding the Trinity is basically impossible. God is so much bigger, he could never fit inside of our minds. We also talked about the early church and how the Holy Spirit came with its many gifts on Pentecost. Yesterday, we started talking about the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit, which we will go into deeply during the following weeks on this podcast. Now, today, we are going to talk about something very important. And that topic is, how do we receive the gifts of the Holy Spirit? Or really, how do we remain open to them? Because remember, we've talked many times about how holiness is not necessarily something that we achieve. It's more so something that we allow God to do. So how do we remain open to Holy Spirit, or even allow God to give himself to us in the form of the gifts of the Holy Spirit? Well, this is something that you are going to spend your entire life learning. I am still learning and struggling with this, and chances are the adult that's listening with you right now is struggling as well. But here are some concepts to think about. First of all, let's take a note from St. Francis of Assisi. We know that it is in giving that we receive. Now, that might sound a little bit backwards. If I give something away, how am I receiving it? Well, think about it a little bit more. It is in giving, meaning when we give our time to people, we receive the gift of friendship. In the same way, when we give our time to God, when we give him silent prayer and study and attend Mass and the sacraments, when we give him those times and that place in our life, we receive all sorts of things. We receive peace and understanding and joy and the ultimate happiness of heaven. So think about it that way. If we want to receive the gifts of the Holy Spirit, we shouldn't think, how do I get them? We think, what can I give away? So spend time with God. Spend time in service with other people. Spend time at Mass. It is when we give that we will receive the gifts of the Holy Spirit. Now, the other thing that I want you to think about is the example of Mary. We started this week talking about Mary. The first day of the week was the Feast of Our Lady of the Rosary. Mary is the ultimate disciple, God's perfect creation, the woman he chose to be his very mother. Mary is also the perfect example of what it will look like to receive the gifts of the Holy Spirit. Remember the way that the angel addressed Mary when he appeared. Gabriel said, "Hail Mary, full of grace." Now, the Holy Spirit, when it comes into our life, it gives us gifts, or another way to say that is we receive grace. Mary is full of grace, meaning she is full to the brim of all the gifts that the Holy Spirit can send. Everything we talk about when we talk about the gifts of the Holy Spirit was brought to perfection in Mary. Now, we can talk about how that played out and what that meant, but here is the big concept I want you to think about. The reason why Mary received these gifts so fully is because she trusted. She trusted God entirely. She didn't know the plan. She thought, what? I'm going to be a mother? Okay, God, I trust you. What? He's God? Okay, God, I trust you. All of these things, Mary didn't have the answers, but she trusted. Hundreds and hundreds of years later, Jesus appeared to Saint Faustina. He gave her the message of the divine mercy, and he told her that he cannot resist a soul that trusts him. He wants to shower that soul with mercy and love and gifts and grace. When we trust God, we will receive the gifts of the Holy Spirit. We will receive the gift of God himself. Trust, trust, trust. And so, Sprouts, here is my challenge for you today. I want you to dig out a picture of the divine mercy. Maybe there's one hanging in your classroom or your home, or maybe you can simply find one on the internet. But find it, look at it. Look at that mercy shooting forth from the heart of Jesus and read those words at the bottom. Jesus, I trust in you. Make those words the words that run through your mind when you worry or you're uncertain. Jesus, I trust in you. And look at those rays, the blue and the red shooting from his heart. That is God sending you the very gift of himself, the gifts of the Holy Spirit. Ask for that and trust that he will hear your prayer. That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God created you to be. Just one more thing, Sprouts. Please don't forget that you can start earning your Catholic Sprouts Challenge patches today. There is a patch for completing the challenges in each episode of this podcast, for praying the rosary for an entire month, and there are many more to come. To go check it out and print your sheets to start earning them, and is completely free for everyone, just head to CatholicSprouts.com/challenge patches. You can also find the link in the notes for this episode.